everyone, just a reminder that these are now daily vlogs, so anytime I refer to this week or this week's vlog, just ignore that, and they're going to be grouped together either in one day at a time or a couple of days at a time, just to keep the length overall a little down, and I don't know, maybe they will be more interesting as daily vlogs. I have no idea. I haven't edited them yet, but here we go with the next day. Hey, I thought I would do a Monday check-in before get started on lots of the things of the day. I think my reading went pretty well yesterday. I did end up reading because I continued to read. I got hooked. I continued to read Storm Cursed by Patricia Briggs, the 11th Mercy Thompson book, and I ended up reading 55 pages of this overall. So that was a fair chunk, especially because the ebook seems to be a bit shorter page count than what Goodreads has listed. So overall, for my 5 titles, I read 126 pages, which is well over the 72 that I'm aiming for, so I'm very happy about that. I did also read a little bit I read one chapter of Her Gallant Captain at Waterloo and more of Last Night at the Lobster. I am hoping to finish this week because my buddy has already finished it, so I am hoping to finish that so we can talk about it. And this one, if I read a little bit every day, that's fine after the 72. So yeah, but I didn't read any of the Death-Defying Dr. Mirage. And when I went through my journal questions, when I got to the question what question was it? Which question was it? I got to one question. Was how satisfied, what did I feel about my reading, which is not a great, it should be a bit more empirical because this is just data collection, but I put pretty satisfied. And the truth is, although I wasn't as happy as I felt about the day before, I realized because I didn't read any of that, and I was kind of hoping to finish it even though I had 100 pages of it left. It's a graphic novel bind-up, or comic bind-up. I have to acknowledge that it's a bit that even just missing one goal, right? So I wanted to read from the 5, I did that. I wanted to get to 72 pages, I did that. I read well over 72 pages. I read a little bit from the Harlequin I'm reading and the Last Night at the Lobster, but I didn't get to the Death-Defying Dr. Mirage. And so I read from 7 of the 8 titles I was kind of hoping to. I exceeded my goal at the majority of those, but because I didn't hit one thing, I felt only pretty satisfied as opposed to satisfied. And I'm like, wow, that's really kind of unreasonable. You know, it makes sense. I didn't get perfect, so I don't feel perfect about it, but perfect is not a great measure. Perfection is not a normal thing. It's not the everyday, it's not the average, right? So but it was enlightening to see that just hitting one target, missing one target out of 8 made me feel like I didn't feel grumpy or upset or something, but I did feel like, oh, like what I did was okay, but look at that. It's like looking at the one mistake when you've hit 7, you got 7 10 out of 10s, and then you get 1 that's a 0, and then so that was helpful to note. And I did set up my tracker. I don't know how well this will show. I did set up my tracker. So the first one is the journal questions. So I put all of the yes or no questions on one side, and this is the satisfied versus unsatisfied versus dissatisfied. This is not great. I probably should have done it. As much as those surveys are not horrible, like, you know when you have a survey when it says like very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, unsatisfied, very unsatisfied. The reason why you have a range is so that you can see the one versus the other. So like yesterday I would have put very satisfied, and today I would have put pretty satisfied. So I guess I could actually, since it's early on, I used pen, I could split this into 5 so that we can see that over time, because the yeses and nos are easy, but that one is more of a numeric metric. And then on the other side, I have my short answers, which obviously is not a lot of space, but short answers you're not supposed to write paragraphs on. They're short answers. It's just like, what was the reason? Time. You know. And then I got very flummoxed on how to organize this. So I have my pages from the 5 here, and then I have pages currently reading books, but not from the 5 over here. And I thought what I would do is do, this will make more sense when there's more numbers, but I'll do the page count of the day and the cumulative for the week. So I had 126 yesterday, 126. So say I had 20 tomorrow or today. Hopefully I'll have more than that, but just for easy math, say I put 20 here. This 126 would be 146, and then I'll put a weekly total. But I got all uncertain about whether or not I wanted to include pages from my currently reading that aren't part of the 5 with this or separately. So that's why a lot of this is in pencil. And then I have a section over here for pages read from other titles, which hopefully won't happen. So far I haven't started anything new, but I do have one new this week that I'm allowed. I have my one that I'm allowed, and I'm curious as if I will end up starting stuff. Like right now I gotta say I have no desire to do that because I have lots to choose from and I'm enjoying everything that I'm reading. So as long, like, so I imagine it'll happen, but so far there's no desire to, so that's great. That's great. So anyway, it is a busy day ahead. Mondays are definitely busier. I do a lot of planning, so I plan my week and I do my meal planning and put in my grocery order, and I have lots of house chores and that kind of stuff to do. And then I also do my planning for the week, which of course is a longer to-do list, and there's some stuff that I have to do around the house, and I won't do it all today. I can't do it all today. But so today will probably be a lighter reading day because I have other things that I need to attend to. I still am planning on reading from the 5, and but I might shorten the time to 10 or 12 minutes. I've been doing sort of more like 20 minutes because I have less time. I know this means I will read less pages, but I think I'm going to try today to read a little bit from each of them, and then I don't know if eventually throughout the week if that'll change and I'll shift to wanting to focus on 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know. So far I've been enjoying reading a little bit from each. Although the last time I read this, I was in the middle of a very exciting part and I did not want to put it down. So maybe I will leave that till last. I've been leaving Storm Curse till last because that's happened with that one as well. That one does not have a lot of chapters. So it's been, they have some page, like some things in the page where you know this is a bit of a break, but I like books that have lots of chapters. It just makes it feel nice when you know you don't have too far to go, where there's a natural point. This point, I think I was 10 pages off. Oh no, this section's longer. Well, these pages are a bit thick, so I have 20 pages to the next section, and so that'll take a while because my pace is slower on that one. But I'm enjoying it. It's very intriguing. And yeah, so today I don't know how many clips of interesting things or non-interesting things that I will have today because it is sort of my like setup for the week. Yesterday's my setup for my reading, but today I have to set up like, you know, the things that I need to attend to in life and look over my schedule and all that kind of stuff. So, so there may or may not be clips, so hopefully there'll be something. Hopefully I'll get to do more fishing, and wow, that's been fun. I did get an achievement yesterday for I capped out on fishing in, I never remember what all the new areas are. I've come back to WoW after years and years and years of not playing, so it was the expansion that had, well, it was the Furious Crawdad was what I fished, and that's in Tekonar Forest, so whatever expansion that was. Burning Crusade, maybe? I don't remember any of the things anymore, but wherever that was, oh, in Zangamarsh. I love Zangamarsh. That's one of my favorite places. So unfortunately I only needed 1 fish there, so, and I got it, and so I had to move to get the Furious Crawdad, which I forgot you had to get them from the pools, which I find really hard to see. I don't know if that's just like my monitor settings. Okay, now I'm talking about fishing. Come back. So anyway, so I got an achievement. So hopefully if I get all my stuff done, I'll get to play a little bit more today. I also made a little troll hunter, which I am really loving. I don't normally play a hunter. It's even though they've been around since the beginning of the game, it's just a character I don't tend to play, but I'm trying one out, and I have a little boar. That's my pet. I want to get all the pets. I want to get a raptor pet. I can't remember where the raptors are. Anyway, okay, distracted. Okay, weekly planning, house chores, that kind of stuff, and then I will get to some reading later, and yeah, we'll see how the day goes. So that's my very quick check-in. Apparently I don't do quick check-ins. And here is where we are at the beginning of Monday. I'm at 99 pages for Storm Cursed. I'm a little more closer to 30% the way through. This has a higher page count than the one I'm reading. The Law's Guide to Nature Drawing and Drilling, 348, so 33% through, yay. Oh my gosh, 84 pages in Essential Art History, also 33% through. And this Tess of the D'Urbervilles, my page count is way higher. It's, well, it's 630 pages, so I'm more like 10% through. And then Female Man, I'm at 38 pages, and so 18% through. So yeah, I'm still in the early stage, but these three, I'm 30% of the way through, so I feel like that's doing well. I didn't read Dr. Mirage, and I forgot to update Her Gallant Captain. I think one time I said knight, because I am used to historical medieval works. So, update more progress. And last night at the Lobster, I got to 64. 46 to 64. Funny that, eh? Alright, and that's where we're at. 40%, 20, and I didn't read any of Dr. Mirage. It's the one title I didn't get to. But I got to the 5, and that is the goal. So, yay! So I'm working on my weekly planning stuff, and I just was doing some food prep, and I noticed this in the fridge, which is a whole bunch of cucumbers, and I didn't eat them all. So I might try and make some pickles. I might make them into pickles. I have to check. I think it's just vinegar, like boiling vinegar, and adding sugar, salt, dill, garlic, I think. And that should make them more preservable. Like, I can eat some of these, but I can't eat all. I should probably, like, finish them, like, soonish. They're actually in pretty good shape, but yeah, so there might be pickles. They're already cut, so I just have to figure out the rest of the things and a jar. I just have a pickle jar. Maybe it was meant to be. I just find it interesting to look at what the people always ask on Google. So I lost my original search, but I ended up going with traditional dill pickle recipe. And people also ask, what is the ratio of vinegar to water for pickles? I didn't think there was any water at all. I thought it was all vinegar. Apparently it's 2/3 vinegar and 1/3 water. How do you make pickles from scratch? What's the difference between a pickle and a dill pickle? I imagine it would be the dill. The main difference is they are seasoned with dill. Okay, so yeah. What kind of pickles does McDonald's use? Do you need to boil the vinegar for pickling? That's actually what I wanted to know. The key is knowing first off, boiling your brine, which is a vinegar mixture, will help all the flavors meld better. That if you add your pickling subject while the brine is hot, your pickle will be briefly cooked and you risk losing some of the crunch. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm not making these in like the traditional canning sense. I'm just trying to preserve them a little bit so they'll last like a week or so. So I'm not a pickle expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I would have imagined boiling vinegar and water with salt. I didn't imagine you would put the spices in with the boiling part. I might ask my sister Susie. She knows all things food, and see if she has a good recipe. And yeah, so she is Susie the foodie. And she likes pickles too. Even though I have pickles in the fridge. So this is just really to like sort of just make them last. It's more pickling cucumbers than officially making pickles. Now the fact how much I laughed at the whole like dill pickle versus regular pickle is you could easily laugh at what I just said in those two things. Anyway, so yeah, but actually what I really need to do is actually put my grocery order in and then I can work on making some pickles. And that looks like boiling to me. Time for reading. I'm going to go for 12 minutes per title and see how I do. Okay, so I've now done sort of 12-ish minutes sections of sessions of reading, and I'm really enjoying The Female Man. I'm still in the same section that I was in, or the same scene. I finished the scene that I was in yesterday. It was really interesting, had lots of social commentary, and it just like the things that I'm like, yeah, that still happens. Yeah, people still do that. Yeah, there's just and there was some direct commentary in this one about the new feminism and some mansplaining going on there. So that was actually quite interesting. So I enjoyed that. Although I'm still having a hard time understanding the world and how static or other it is. But I've been in the same section, so it's been static in terms of the scenes, but it'll be interesting if I like get the commentary but don't understand like the plot. Could happen. I don't know. Also continuing to enjoy essential art history. There was a section here I really enjoyed. Well, they talked about conceptual art. And I thought this was interesting. It was a loose umbrella term that gained currency in the 60s, described a variety of art forms which place emphasis not on the physical presence of the artwork, but its conceptual meaning. This included performance art, body art, minimalism. Much of this work is directed at exploring the conventional limits of art through the development of a range of anti-art practices. Conceptual art is often abstruse, uninterested for the most part in the audience comprehension, and designed to inspire indifference. Is that true? I would not have thought of conceptual art to inspire audience indifference. Like, I always thought it was about like the idea behind the thing is more important than the thing itself. But in inspiring audience indifference feels intentional. So anyway, so I would love to do like a mini like project or a huge project on different types of art and learning about different types of art, because like for me, like that's just like one paragraph on conceptual art, and it's very different than I expected, and that is the case. I do feel like some artistic movements or isms can be confusing, and the term that is used for them doesn't always instantly make you think of the ism or the movement that it is. So I would love to learn more about it, hence reading the book. So anyway, so I'm really curious about that. So that was fun. What else did I read? I read a little bit of everything. One chapter of Tess of the Dubervilles. One of the good things about that one is that I find it very clear, which is nice. I'm already hurting for some of the characters, and I think I might need to take a different approach to it in terms of how I intake the story, because if I'm going to stick with it, which I intend to, I don't have any intention of DNFing it, I feel like I need a different, not reading approach, but some other kind of approach. Like, for example, sometimes when I read romantic suspense, I find the suspense elements very disturbing. So instead of reading it like sort of like on face value or on par, or indifferently inspiring indifference, sometimes I'll read romantic suspense melodramatically. And when I think of it as a melodrama, I can really go there. Like, I can really like feel like, oh, the chase sequence or the tension, or how like something that seems like so far-fetched could be like really, whatever. So I can go there with romantic suspense. So with Tess of the Dubervilles, I feel like I need to find whatever going there means, because I just sitting with the story, just sort of receiving it without any direction, I feel like it's just gonna be so sad. Like, I just feel like I'm just gonna it actually reminds me a little bit of Hustle and Flow, the movie, so far. So there's that. And Law's Guide to Nature Drawing and Journaling went well. It was actually a heavy illustrated section, so yay. And then Mercy Thompson, I didn't even get to the end of the chapter. It got some interesting bits though. Definitely seeing the sort of plot story form up, as well as there seems to be a bit of a piece about a longer arc story of the series, which is interesting, or at least the characters that are longer arc stuff. So I like that longer arc stuff. So that went well. So I thought I would just quickly do page count. I'm going to use a calculator because yesterday I was 2 pages off when I watched the clip back. Dang it. And I'm tired today and I'm having another bad pain day, so I'm just not, I'm not going to do the math in my head, so I'm going to do it. Okay, so we had 10 pages from The Female Man, 12 pages from, no, not 12 pages, 6 pages from Essential Art History. It is my most consistent page count pace. 1 page takes 2 minutes. That's every single entry in my spreadsheet for that book is 1 page takes 2 minutes. Okay, so I read 6 pages of that, so 16. Tess of the D'Urbervilles, I only read 7 pages. I read 1 chapter, it came to a close, so I stopped reading that early. Law's Guide to Nature Drawing and Journaling, I read 35 pages. Oh, I think I'm going to come up short. So now we're at 58. And Mercy Thompson, I read 12 pages. Oh, no, I wrote 70. So I need to read 2 pages to get to 72, and I read more than 72 yesterday, so I'm good. I think I probably will at minimum today finish out the Mercy Thompson chapter that I'm reading. So not happy that it's not in smaller chapters, and it's also harder being an ebook, like being able to see ahead to see if there's a good page break. So that's not been the best, but because I know the series well and the characters pretty well, it's not too bad. But like even when I started reading it today, I'm like, oh, if I had just waited, like it was like 1.5 pages was like a natural like scene break, and I'm like, whatever. So anyway, so 70 pages, that's not bad. I could even just spend 4 minutes and read 2 pages of Essential Art History. But to be honest, I'm not retaining this very well because I'm just not retaining things very well. So, but I think I actually, going through all of the things, I think I did not so bad. So I definitely think I'll get 2 more pages, but I think I'm going to call it there for focused reading, and that actually does feel pretty good. It's still a fair amount of time. Oh, I have to take care of my pickles. They should have, the solution should have cooled off by now, and yeah, and then I can just see what happens. I'm gonna catch up on Prodigal Son. I'm so mad I missed it last week. I was not focused when it was on, and so I bought it on Google Play, the in season, but it didn't pop up on Google Play, which is unusual. It usually pops up right away. So I think I can watch it through the Global TV app because it airs on Global here in Canada. So I want to watch it so that tomorrow, when it's the new episode is up, I can watch it live. But I'm so mad. All the shows I watched this season are all on Tuesdays. So it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And 2 of them are medical dramas, which is unusual for me. I'm watching New Amsterdam, have since the beginning, really enjoy it. And I also picked up The Resident, but I don't like watching them on the same day. It's too much. It's too much. Like I generally don't like medical dramas because I don't like medical stuff. Like it's just not I'm not gonna go into the whys of that, but I'm not saying can't be quality and or important or both. But New Amsterdam has my heart. So I started The Resident early this year when almost nothing was on. But now that New Amsterdam's back, I'm like so I'm a little stumped on that, and I missed last week, but it's just too similar at the same time, and I'm getting some of the plots mixed up, which is very strange. So anyway, I am talking about TV. Distracted. Yes, it's very much a distracted day. I don't think my focus is going to stay focused much, so watching Prodigal Son will actually probably be good because it's very intense, and that'll keep my focus. But first, pickles. I gotta put the pickles together, and then I'm gonna watch some thriller procedural television. So that's the plan. Okay. Cucumbers. cucumber left behind. All right, hopefully these will be lovely. I have no, oh, there's a lot of, I think I should have put the dill in the liquid. No, it'll work. Oh, that might be very, very, very dilly. All right, pickles. All right, let's see if it's here. These are alphabetical. Prodigal Son, there it is. And do they have the episode? They do! Yay! All right. Well, I am very glad that I watched that episode of Prodigal Son, because jumping into the next one without seeing what happened would have been not the best choice. So, trying to be more pick and sticky on some of the shows and more freewheeling on other ones. And this one is definitely one, although it's procedural, you know, it's better as a pick and stick. So I'm glad I decided to do that with this one. So yay. All right. Well, obviously darker. And I still have to get my 2 pages in, but I'm pretty sure I can do that. So, all right. I think that's probably it for today.